Hey, I'm John Charette, and today I'm going to explain why you may want to spend more on your first home than you are approved for. I ended up spending over $50,000 more, but that allowed me to live in my first house for $700 a month. Stay tuned for the breakdown. Welcome. If this is your first time here, thanks for joining. My goal in this channel is to share some financial stories and hope that you can learn something from it. In my last few videos, I talk about how I purchased a $350,000 home as my first home. I was able to do that on a single income of $70,000, all while carrying $28,000 worth of debt. But because of that, I can only qualify for about $250,000 to $300,000. At the time, I was considering a really nice $250,000 condo in Square One. Back in 2012, it was a up and coming, cool, hip area to live, especially if you were a single guy. At $250K, it was well within my budget, even though I had to consider that I'd have to pay $250 to $300 a month with condo fees. So why didn't I buy it? Well, my good friend and realtor Addy at the time, he asked me, had I considered buying a duplex and renting out part of it? It hadn't even crossed my mind. So we changed the search criteria to include homes up to $300,000 that included a second kitchen. Having a second kitchen is a huge deal. Having it plumbed and wired saves a lot of cost. A kitchen is by far the most expensive room in your home. But everything we found was trash, like bad. Addy suggested that we increase the search criteria up to $350,000. I was like, whoa. The bank said I can only get $300,000. What's the deal? Well, he explained that if you can convince the lender that you'll be renting out a portion of your property, you can use that to increase the mortgage amount. Talk to your mortgage broker, they can do some magical things. After a few more searches, we found some homes, and we found one, but I didn't think it was a win at all. Here, check out a few pictures of what I saw and took with my phone when I walked through it. It was an absolute mess, and thankfully, Addy came up with some creative solutions on how we could get laundry up onto the main floor so we could have separate laundry, and also move the electrical panel out of the basement bathroom. So let's pause here and do some quick math. Normally, I would pull up my favorite online calculator at ratehub.ca, but they only do up to 25-year mortgages with 5% down. On July 9th, 2012, the Canadian government removed the ability for 30-year mortgages unless you have 20% down. Interesting enough, check out my paperwork here, dated July 4th, only 5 days before they changed it. My mortgage broker knew about this change, and he recommended I get a house quick so that we can slide myself in and so I could afford it. So instead, let's go over to the Government of Canada's mortgage calculator. Okay, so we know the mortgage amount is the price of the home minus the deposit. So we'll say $320,000. The interest rate at the time was 3.09%, which is pretty interesting because right now they're much lower. Let's do a full 30-year amortization. Pay monthly over a 5-year term. I got very confused with the whole amortization period versus term when I first started doing research for my first home. Think about it this way. Your amortization period is the total time it'll take you to pay off your mortgage. It'll take me 30 years to pay off the mortgage in entirety. The term is what you're considered locked in at before you have to refinance. A typical term is a 5-year at a fixed interest rate term, but there are many options out there. But that's the difference. One's the entire term, the entire time it'll take you to to pay it off, and the term is each section. After each term of 5 years, let's say, you'll then have to refinance, get reapproved for your loan again, so you can keep owning your home. Now's the perfect time. If you're enjoying this video, hit the like button. It really increases my chance that YouTube will share this and recommend it to others. Okay, back to our calculator. Now let's hit the calculate button. Okay, now you can see here over the term of 60 months, which is 5 years, I paid $1,361 a month. Now this calculator isn't taking into consideration little extras like mortgage insurance and life insurance option. So let's round that up to $1,400. Now that we know how much the mortgage will cost, let's get back to finding out how I could afford this house for only $700 a month. So how did I do it? I invested another $20,000 into converting that home into a duplex with a basement apartment. I rented out the entire 3-bedroom upstairs for $1,400 a month, which covered the entire mortgage cost. I then lived in the basement and only had to cover the additional cost of owning a home, property tax, internet. We ended up sharing the hydro and gas bill. In the end, I was only paying $700 to own my own home. When I was living in Maple, I was paying $850 to live in someone else's home. I mean, it meant I was still stuck in a basement, but I did what I had to do. So you may be asking, well, John, like, how much did it cost and how long did it take to renovate your home into a duplex? Well, it's a good question. It was about $20,000 and it took 3 months. And that did mean I was paying the $1,400 for the mortgage plus the $700 other fees for that 3-month period, plus the renovation costs. If you watch my bad debt video, you'll see when I added the $20,000 to my debt load to make this happen. I mean, it was really scary at the time, but it was absolutely the best financial decision I've ever made. So ask yourself, could you do something similar? Could you buy a home, go more into debt, do a bunch of renovations, and still live in the basement? Like own a house, but not take advantage of all the rooms? Just knowing that it's the long game, an investment for your future? I mean, for me, it was absolutely worth it. Hopefully I've given you enough information so you can look at the numbers and see if this works for you. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something today. Please like if you did and subscribe if you want to see some more content like this. Thanks.